Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to go through I guess 3 CGC returns that I had that were bulk. I'm going to show you guys just kind of like the highlights. Um, there were a lot of duplicates, so I'm not going to show all the duplicates, but I think here in the beginning, anything that I show, I do have more than one of that I submitted. Submitted a bunch of these Celebi, and the grades that I received are, got a 9.5, got a 10, we also had a pristine 10. Now, all of these that I submitted, I had a healthy backstock of these in sealed condition. I'd went through and weeded out the ones that I thought might have a 10 shot, and then I opened up all of the ones that I thought had a 10 shot, and then I weeded out some more. In general, it's kind of like what you want to do. If you're trying to submit stuff, you want to submit the best of the best that you can. But some cards it doesn't matter. With cards like the Celebi, it's a pretty cool card, even just raw. But I wanted to optimize it. So there were some other grades that I had, but these were the ones that I had multiples of. So any grade that was lower than a 9.5. I may have that shows up later on here in the video. It'd be like that with anything else I have. So like I also did the same thing with some Tricos. This is the Target promo, kind of comes in like a little sealed pouch, and I think I only had 2 of these in pristine, but I had multiples of the 10s and 9.5s, and then I'm pretty sure there were multiple under 9.5 as well, but I may have only had like one of those. Let's see what else we have. So there were 4 promos with this Target promotion. So you had Torchic, you had Trico, you had Mudkip, and then you also had Whismur, which was kind of like the one that stood out. I didn't have any pristines on the Torchic. For the most part, these were in decent shape. I was expecting them to do really well, but a lot of times when you submit all super minty stuff together, you get a high rate of 10s, but any little flaw just kind of like pull away from what you have. I had multiple 8s with the Mudkip. So we have 9s. So I think everything here I'm submitting in the beginning is stuff that I have multiples of, and then, or I'm showing you guys, and then you'll see stuff at the end. Like I said, that I had only singular grades for. So there's the Mudkip, had multiples of the 8, 9, and the 10, which is nice. So that means any of the 0.5 grades at least I didn't see, a bunch of. And here's the Whismur. I did all of those. Got 8s, 8.5s, 9s. That means if I had a 10, I only had one of those, but I did have a pristine. Nice and glary. So I think that pristine looks really nice on these. These promos are not that easy to find. I just had a bunch from way back when. I thought it was time to go ahead and grade them. Now these Ludicolo's, I was a little upset with me because man, they looked pretty good. The holo definitely didn't pull away from the card. This one got a 9.5, maybe because of that little nick there in the top. There's a 9 on this one. That looks really clean. I was expecting to see some 10s on these, but I didn't get, I don't think, any 10s, if I'm recalling right. Or if I did, it was maybe just one of them. So Ludicolo was another EX Era promo. Then I had a lot of these Pikachu Vs that I sent in. I had multiples of all of these grades. I can't remember if there were any pristines. I don't think there were. I want to say the majority were 9 and 9.5, and I did have a handful of the 10s. These come from the Celebrations UPC. There's the Pikachu EX. I want to say that I had multiple of the regular 10 as well, but maybe I just didn't include those for some reason. Maybe I went ahead and relisted it or something. But yeah, these are from the Yokohama deck. I still think this is a really great card. I mean, it's got a lot going for it, and you can see right there with the stamp on it. I think there's potential. But so did most everybody else, which is why I think there was a lot of hype. It did come down in price, but it did not drop as hard as I thought it would. At the peak, I was buying them at $270 some, and then even, I mean, I can get them for under $200 now for the sealed deck, but this is actually a kind of tough find. All right, we have a Celebi. Got an 8 and a 9 there. So these are ones that I had only one of the grade. Here we had some of these. I submitted all 3, the Raikou, Suicune, and Legend, or Entei Legend. What else do we have? Okay, we're coming back around to the Trico. So these were grades that all had one of. So I had 1 9 Trico. I had a 6 on a Torchic. I don't know what I missed on that one. I think, yeah, there it is. Like there's a bevel right there in the back side. So must have somehow missed that. Here's a Mudkip 7. Probably something similar, but I don't see it right offhand. Then we had a 9.5 on a mud kit. There's the pristine 10, so glad we did pull one of those out. Here's the Ludicolo 8 and 10, so I had 1, 8, 1, 10. Nice and bright there. Okay, so this one was actually, I guess, like a misgrade because it's ribbed. It didn't get the ribbed designation. So that should have been, instead of marked down as damage, it should have been labeled as an error, but they just marked it as damage. So that one, I may just sell as is. I don't know if it's really worth it to send in. Alright, we have Pikachu. There's an 8 and an 8.5. Looks like no pristines on that one. I was hoping that I had one stuck in there, but couldn't remember. Alright, did grade some WB promos. Then I did have 110, so we had an 8.5 and a 9 on the Electabuzz. And got a 9.5 and a 10 on the Mewtwo. These were similar to the other sealed promos. I went through and I had all the sealed ones. And I kind of looked at the back, and I take like a handful at a time. So, because I have so many of like the WB promos, I'll just take like 10 or 20, and I'll go through like the 20 and see which ones I think are worth opening up. And then, you know, if I have like 5 or 6 out of those 20, because usually these are pretty bad, I'll open them up, and then a lot of times I won't even submit them because these promos have a tendency to have like some kind of surface damage that you can't see until you open it up. So it's almost never worth it to open up these WB promos. But I got 110 out of 5 on that, and it was probably out of a stack of like 20 or so. Oh, and here's some more Yokohama ones. Only had 185 and 19. I think I submitted about 20, maybe 30 of those things at a time. What else do we have in here? Oh yeah, so I submitted about 50 of these suckers, and well, yeah, I didn't do very well. I think all of these are going to be grades that I duplicates of. I had no 10s, lots of 8s, lots of 8.5s, lots of 9s. I had like 2 or 3 9.5s, and then the rest were just well, that was all of them. None of them pulled the 10, so I did pull all of these off of TCG Player. So whoever did that on TCG Player, you did some good pre-grading. I took a chance and I lost out on that. Alright, we have Ancient Mew here. Now I'm just submitting one of each grade. Like, so some of these may have multiple, some of them may not. Like, I know I only have one of the pristine Ancient Mew 10, but I do have a couple of the Gem Mint 10. And I think I have multiples of most of these other grades as well. I had, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 Ancient Mews I sent in on this sub. I did some pretty harsh pre-grading, and finally pulled the one pristine out. You can see it's got a nice swirl over his head. Got a nice swirl where the pattern starts over again, so it's actually like a double swirl, but it's only like a double partial swirl. So I don't know what you'd actually call that. Alright, next up we have Cool Porygon. I had about 50 of these sealed and decided to send them in. Had a 6.5, an 8, 8.5, 9, and then I actually did pretty good with the grades. I did receive multiple 10s. Received no pristine 10s, but man, these were all pretty nice. Like the Cool Porygon was a card that the Meowth was really rough. It always had like a little crease or something on the inside of the hollow, but the Cool Porygon did not have that. These come with that N64 game. See, there's a 9.5 on that one, probably because of the centering. Same with that one. The centering looks to be off. But overall, these did pretty good. Typically, if I submit these hollows in the PSA, even if they're like beautiful in the picture, I mean, it's so tough to get a 10 from them. At least it has been for me. But then it seems like anytime you go to buy a PSA 10, they seem to be wrecked. But then when you submit stuff, it's like, where are my 10s at? Alright, so the rest of this stuff I believe might be Nagabas. I did really good on these. So I'm showing 4 different grades here, but almost all of them were Gem Mint 10 or Pristine 10. And so it was that way with just about everything. Had the EVs. Here's Espeon. Had a random 8, a 9, 5, 10. Had a lot of pristines. I believe one of these I only got 10s and pristine 10s on. And for these, I didn't really do any pre-grading. I got them in from my guy, and I was just like, all right, I don't really feel like pre-grading these things. I just want to get them in, get them back. So I sent them in, and I have noticed that the prices have come down quite a bit on these. You can see I'm gonna have every one of them has Gem Mint 10s and pristine 10s, but then I have these random lower grades. So if you're looking for random lower grades, I might have them, unless it's a Flareon, and then all I have is Gem Mint 10 and pristine 10, 9, 10, pristine 10, And it's the same way until we get to here. I'll go ahead and show the Umbreons, what we got there. I'm going to skip over some of these. Yeah, so we had 1/8 and it had all 10s and pristine 10s. So, which this card has come down quite a bit. The pristine 10s were right around 300. I want to say they're like 140 or something like that now. There was something cool that I did submit. I'm going to show you guys. I was hoping that they would grade these, and they did. So it's the insert from the Yokohama deck. So you've got, I had a bunch of Gem Mint 10s and a bunch of pristine 10s. I'll probably submit the rest of these. I think these are pretty cool because they're like the only other holographic card in that Yokohama deck, and they're pretty unique. You know, it's like a World Championship thing. It's got some Pokemon on there. I don't know what the QR code for is or is for. You got that on the front back, but yeah. So I thought this was neat, and I'll be offering those out. I don't know how much they're really worth, but I guess we'll find out, right? All right, guys. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. I know it's just a bunch of CGC returns that I got in. I haven't showed a lot of these lately, but I thought I would for these because there were some unique cards in there, some decent grades. Kind of variety from the WotC era to EX era, all the way to the newest stuff. And as always, thanks for your support, and I hope to see you in another video.